In the next scene, Luhala stated that the queen promised to invest in quality clothes. Duke asked if the queen had come directly, which was something new. Luhala replied that he was a little surprised too, but she must have been through a lot during that time. The nobles of Logos were enterprising people with their own personalities, but now the diversity is dead because of the little girl of Santella. Fashion has become standardized. Each person has a different beauty. How is it that everyone makes only one person an idol? Besides, as Duke predicted, Santella is trying to ruin his business. Duke thought his father told him that Love and Santella are in a relationship that cannot be friendly. They are working for the kingdom together, but they are looking in a different direction. At that time, he was too young to understand his father's words. Duke stated he had a second thought. First, what's the damage situation? Luhala replied that there are no noticeable losses yet. However, as for his business right now, he is making a costume for the Queen of the New Year's prom. Santella threatens costume makers, or he is concerned that there will be a setback in production by attempting to damage the clothes. So, can he ask Duke to escort their technicians? Duke replied that's quite possible. He secretly sent engineers to the Luave mansion. He thinks it would be safer to craft the costume in the mansion. They are always open to Luhala. The next morning, Butler thought he was nervous. It's been a while since Duke bought new winter clothes, and he is buying a lot for Lena alone. He is worried that Duke seems to be getting too caught up in it. So, if Lena has a bad heart. Butler stated that it's important to stay in the cold, but it's very dry there, which can cause problems on his skin. He advised her to take notice that Duke is applying the cream every day, and ensure he stays well hydrated. After some time, Butler told Duke, "Sir, please don't give Lena a lot of affection. Of course, she seems like a good kid, but we haven't figured out her identity yet." Duke replied that he knows Butler is worried about him. As he said, he still can't trust all of Lena, but that kid gave him back his normal la femme normal conversation and warmth that can be shared with people. If that's what he can do with just a few coats, he will always pay that price. Duke knows that Butler cares about him. It's always great. Then go and take care of the costume makers while he is away. Gradually, Duke believes Santella will move. In the next scene in the carriage, Duke stated, Chardon takes about 10 days by carriage from here. Besides, it's very cold in the northeast, making it a difficult trip for her who is going for the first time. Lena replied that she is okay, and she is looking forward to it. At night, Duke saw Lena sleeping, and the knight informed him that they had arrived in front of the hotel where they would be staying today. Duke told Lena to wake up, and Lena apologized. Duke stated don't worry about it. It's much more difficult because it is unfamiliar due to the continuous carriage trip. Lena spoke in Fidelia, mentioning that she slept well on the stone floor. She expressed concern about the seat in his office. And Duke replied that every time she worried about him, he thought she looked really cute. Lena asked if he had any problems, and Duke was laughing. In the next scene, knights were chatting, noting that Duke was smiling. One of them said he thinks the atmosphere has changed a lot since that maid came. It looks like she is a priest. Another knight asked where the maid slept since she is alone and a woman, suggesting there is no place for her to sleep. The other one clarified that she is using the whole room by herself. On the other hand, Lena spoke, saying she can't do that when the knight's rooms are not enough. She sleeps anywhere, even in the stable. Duke replied, calling stables nonsense. Lena explained that one room could sleep 3 or 4 people. Duke thought there was truth to what Lena said. If she uses a solitary room, it might be said that she is favored. Then he asked if she sleeps well anywhere, suggesting that she could share his room. Then Lena asked if the room is considerably small. She is fine with sleeping in a corner with other servants. Duke replied that she would sleep among the men, and that is much too reckless. Lena thought, isn't it the same, though, sleeping in the same room as him? Duke asked what if she sleeps in another room, who is going to wait on him? So, don't worry about it too much, just try and get comfortable. After some time, Lena thought he told her to get comfortable, but she can't sleep knowing that he is sleeping next to her. It seems he does not mind at all. Duke thought he can't sleep. He didn't know being so sensitive would make things so difficult. It feels like his stomach is in knots, and his hands are sweaty. Lena asked, "Your Highness, is something bothering him? He keeps tossing in his sleep." Duke replied that he is Finham. She is the one who seems to be uncomfortable, seeing as she is still up when she must be tired. The thing is, it's been a long time since he has slept with someone in the same room, not since his mother passed away. Duke said Lena can stand up, he will show her what he does when he can't sleep. In the next scene, Duke asked if she slept alone at the Baron's castle too. He thought the stablehand treated her like his own daughter. Lena replied he did, but they could not be together all the time. She was the youngest maid there. She had to wake up before anyone else to light the fire in the furnace and fetch water. She lived in a tiny room on the first floor of the castle, closest to this storage and the well. Duke asked since she was 10, that must have been hard. Lena replied everyone lives like that. Duke thought if she was 10, she must have been weaker than she is now. Compared to that, the work he is doing isn't hard at all. It feels like he has it too easy. Then Duke asked if she had been acknowledged as the Baron's daughter in the first place, she would not have had to go through all of that. Lena replied, but then she would have died with the Baron and all his family. Duke asked if she is still scared of him. Lena replied no, not anymore. Duke stated it's better that she stays scared because he is a monster so terrifying that it would send everyone running. Lena replied then she will be the monster's personal assistant. How does that sound? Duke replied that's very like her. Lena stated it's so pretty, she is really sleepy all of a sudden. After she sleeps, Duke stated, don't leave her, Lena, he can't imagine his life without her anymore, even if she puts him in danger. Then the scene changed. Liddell stated that she spilled tea on her gown, and please take it to the laundry maid. Elliot thought she called on her for something like this. Doesn't she understand that Elliot is nobility? Liddell stated, come to think of it, she wasn't able to ask how she is doing. How is she adjusting to life in the Duke's house? Liddell deployed she is fine. She is so grateful, Liddell spoke. She heard from Maria that Elliot is looking to buy a dress. Elliot replied because she is going to throw a party for all the young nobles soon. She has to go too. She doesn't want to look shabby or she will embarrass Her Highness. Liddell replied she has no idea Elliot was thinking of her. She is very sweet, but there is no need to worry about that. This party is only for those who come from the house of standing. She is not officially a noble, so she can't attend the party. Elliot was shocked, then said that she is a commoner. Liddell replied it can't be helped. This is just the reality. She can't be seen by other nobles yet. She should understand. Elliot thought, forget about going to the party. Now she has to hide from the other nobles. This is so far below what she imagined. Why are these things only happening to her? On the other hand, Lena spoke, it's so beautiful. The maids thought His Grace brought a woman. The head maid spoke, it has been too long. He must be tired from a long journey. How many people should they prepare baths for? Duke replied for now, both of them. Then after dinner, see that the knights can take a bath too. The maids thought, is she really his lover? She is awfully well dressed for a servant. Duke stated this is personal assistant Lena, she must be around him at all times. Then after that, the maid asked, Miss Lena, His Grace's bath is ready. Will she check the temperature? Lena replied, yes, ma'am. The maid told her she doesn't have to be so polite with them either, they are just commoner maids. Lena thought she is also a commoner too, and an illegitimate child of a criminal to boot. But nothing good will come from telling people that. Then the head maid spoke. There is no need to be so nervous. She has really wanted to talk to her. Tell her how long she has been serving the Duke. Lena replied, half a year. The head maid stated it looks like His Grace is very fond of her. But she has not been by his side for all that long. Can she use auras? Or maybe she has a very strong spirit, or she takes purification. Lena replied, nothing she can do, she is just his personal assistant. The head maid asked, then how is she overcoming His Grace's devilish powers? Lena asked, what's that? The head maid stated she doesn't know about the curse at all. How did she become his personal assistant? Lena replied, come to think of it, the butler once said that it was a curse too. Duke stated that they are getting late for a bath today, and after that, he will leave the service to the maid who is close to him. Marie can check the sleeping condition of the knights. The head maid replied, yes, then tell Lena that she shouldn't worry about what she said, it was a joke between them. After the head maid left, Duke stated she doesn't need to learn anything more, just do what she is doing right now. Lena asked, yes, but she still lacks a lot. Duke spoke. What did he say before? This is not to criticize the posture she is trying to learn. It was just do what she is doing. He is tired, is the bath water ready? Lena asked if she could help. Duke replied no, he wants to be alone. She must be tired too, so go back and take a bath. In the next scene, Lena thought about what she should do. She showed him what she lacked from the first day, and she kept making really stupid mistakes. This is not the time to be relaxed. So, come on. Let's clean up his bedroom and find something to do. First of all, the moisturizing cream requested by the butler. Then she thought, where is her bag? It must have been in the room until now. Where has it been? Duke asked what she is doing here. Lena lied, saying her luggage was missing, and she was looking for it. Duke told her that if it were the maid, they would have brought it to her room. Her room is a secondary bedroom attached to his. Go check it out. Lena was shocked. Duke asked if giving her a second bedroom is a problem. Lena thought that normal nobles would not share the same floor with the lower one. Is it different from Luave? Duke thought it was such an absurd excuse. Lena replied that she thought it was going to be a separate room, and he apologized. Duke thought her attitude changed compared to when she first met him. What should he do in this case? To the west of Sardin, there is Lavinas, the estate of the Santella family. Between Lavinas and Chardon lies Callahan Mountain. In the winter, Callahan Mountain is infested with monsters. The reason why the head of the Luave family visits Callahan every winter is to subdue those monsters. Where and why demons whose everything is shrouded in secrets. Cahill is convinced that the cause lies in Santella. The time of the monster's appearance coincides with the time when Leonard ascended to Santella. Damien Luave has raised suspicions several times, but Santella always cleverly escapes the investigation network. Duke stated he is very excited today. It's always a lot of work. Margella, the mage, replied, what's going on in Ardennes? Duke spoke, it's going well. Liddell is very ambitious. She is looking for her place. There is no one in the Logos more worthy of the crown than her. She will most likely make a great queen. Then he asked how she thinks this year's harvest will be. The mage replied, good sign. It will be enough to fill in necessary troops of the demon corps. Duke stated, this time, he want a lot of large monsters to appear. The mage spoke, don't worry, as the number of times the magic circle is driven increases, the size and number of monsters are increasing. From this year on, it seems possible to experiment with giving special powers to monsters. Duke stated, that's perfect, send these small ones or the failed ones to Chardon. They should give Cahill a chance to use his magic. Think about it sometimes, when he was the successor, he discovered this magic circle. He wondered if it was a blessing from God to make Liddell a queen, and he even met her. The mage replied, looking back, it was a dramatic movement. When she found out about black magic in the temple, she thought she was going to die. She was able to survive because His Excellency recognized her abilities. Duke stated, soon she will be able to freely roam outside this cave, he promised. The mage said, the head of the Santella family, called the incarnation of angels, can he wield such a vast amount of black magic? What a beautiful sight this is. Lena thought she had never seen so much snow. Then she asked, so much has piled up, can he really go sledding? Duke replied, of course, she has come this far, so she will be able to do everything she wants. Look, the reindeer looks excited too. Lena stated, such a sleigh pulled by reindeer, she's really excited. Duke thought her breath touches him too closely, it feels weird. Then, after some time, Lena said he needed to put cream on his face. Duke replied, "That's it, he can do it, give him that." Lena replied, "No, the butler said that she should apply it. He says that she just dips her fingernails and applies them." "Come on, take a seat," Duke replied. He is not a kid. Duke thought he can't be so resolute. After talking to the head maid, she was overly polite. At times like this, she usually nags. Lena thought, do she have to be full of professional spirit? Then she said, "It's a little cold." Duke thought he felt weird, the feeling of tickling under the chin. He asked, "What is she doing?" Lena replied, "The butler told her after applying the cream, she has to wrap it with her hands so that it is absorbed well." Duke thought, but this feels like they are almost on the verge of kissing. Then he stated, "It's over. Now hurry to get ready to go. Clothing sales are fine, so prepare herself. Don't forget her hat and muff, bring her fur shoes." In the next scene, Lena thought it strange, until before, she felt like she was blocked by something. She can feel free just by running fast. After that, Lena stated, "It was so much fun. She never knew sledding could be so much fun. She feels refreshed even in the cold wind." Duke replied, he is glad she enjoyed it. Then he will go to the mountains for a while, so please rest. One of the knights asked why he was going alone. Duke replied, if he wants to hunt with peace of mind, it's more convenient when there are no people nearby. However, does he think he needs someone to help him with beast hunting? In the next scene, the knight stated Duke is strong enough that he can't stand it alone. A cup of tea will make her feel at ease, so let's go in. Lena replied she will take tea leaves from her luggage bag. She will come. When Lena is finding her tea leaves, suddenly she was shocked. There were only signs of some monster's footprints. On the other hand, Duke thought he hoped Lena is resting well. So weird. Why do they feel so ominous? Then he thought, that's weird. Why didn't the monster damage the barrier? They are the ones who instinctively harm humans. They must have tried to cross the barrier to get to the village. Knights told him, Master has kidnapped the maid. The tresses of the monster remained in the place where the maid disappeared. Duke told them to go back to the castle and defend the village with the knights. He will find Lena. Then he thought, please be safe. On the other hand, Lena woke up, and she thought, her head hurts. She was going to take tea leaves. The monster spoke. Their bait is awake. Lena thought, he is wearing a necklace. Is he a monster? The monster stated, come on, scream. Let the Duke hear the scream and come here. Then he hit her. Lena thought, he is going to use her to hurt him. She got lured into a trap because of her. Then they attacked her again, and the monster spoke. That's right, a good girl needs to scream like that. Lena thought, it hurts so much. What should she do? Mom, what should she do? She is so scared. Then she thought, who the hell is this? Maybe a monster. Then Duke came, and he stated, is she all right? Are there any injuries? Wait a minute, he will come. The next moment, a big monster trying to come out. Lena shouted, run away, Your Excellency. Then she shouted at the monster, go back, monster. The little monster thought summoning stopped. What is her identity? Lena stated. Shut up. He will be punished. Go back to where they were. She will not forgive him. The monster replied, can't she shut up right now? Duke used power and shouted, let go of that hand now. The next moment, the monster was ripped off. Duke asked if she was okay. Lena replied, run away. He has to run away. The monster called him. It has a necklace on its neck. He has to watch out for that monster. Duke replied, it's okay. No more. She must not lose her mind. Lena spoke. What a relief he is safe. The next scene, Maid spoke. It's fun. As they all know, there is a power to be revered in this world. The magic power of the two dukes, the absolute power of the queen, and the power of the priest. Have he ever felt any power other than these? Duke replied, no. Mage told him. Then just what was the force that prevented the activation of a magic circle and suppressed the demons? Duke asked, did the black magic circle stop working? Mage stated, yes, and the one who used that power, This is the woman the Duke of Luave was carrying. She wasn't possessed by a devil. Seeing that she used evil to save the Duke, he seemed to have a crush on her, but it wasn't her eyes that were possessed by something. Duke asked, "Does it have any chance that the woman is a priest?" Maid replied, "No. That power was not the holy power. At first, she was just trying to use it as bait, but a very interesting discovery, isn't it?" Duke stated, "Don't take it lightly, otherwise, it can become a bigger obstacle than Kahal." Mage replied, "Could it be? She is more excited than ever. Well then, she will take care of the interesting kid herself." Then in the castle, Duke asked, "How was her condition?" The doctor replied, "It will leave a scar, but it won't be life-threatening. It seems that the monster had no intention of killing this child in the first place. If she rests well, she will get better." Duke thought, how did that lively face turn so pale? If he had found her sooner, in a normal country, he would not have been embarrassed by that. The monster, the one who was being summoned from the magic circle, he had to figure it out over time rather than cut it off at once. He didn't mean to take her to such a dangerous place in the first place. When he returned to Arden, he will call the priest and heal her without leaving any scars. She doesn't have to carry anything like the market for a while. He will do whatever she wants, so just rest by his side. Lena opened her eyes and spoke, "Run away, hit the monster," Duke thought. Why is she even in this situation? She is worried about him. Then he said, "This is Chardon Castle. There is no monster." Lena replied, "Thank God. Duke is okay." Duke thought he can't understand her, on the pretext of being Baron Fidelia's illegitimate child, she held by his side year by year. At first, she didn't want to stay by him. Is she still worried about him? He doesn't have a demon, so there is no way he would fall for it. One thing is for sure, she has become very special to him. He never wants to be taken away by others. He wants to protect her from all dangers in the world. He wants to help her live a happy life than anyone else. Then a knight came and told him at the entrance of the village outside the castle, "Demons are haunting." It is confirmed that more are small chickens. There are also individuals with unusual necklaces. Duke thought, no matter how intelligent a monster is, he doesn't have the ability to make such trinkets. Obviously, someone intervened. Then after some time, Mage came out of a mirror and stated, "Don't worry and sleep well, she will make her feel comfortable." She apologizes, "But it's going to hurt a lot. Don't worry, she will be comfortable." Suddenly, Lena opens her eyes. Mage thought, how did she wake up already? It must have been difficult to come to terms with. Besides, those eyes, was it originally like this? Mage speaks, "Hello, lady, is she still out of her mind? It's a pity to die like this, but still, there is nothing she can do for her master, she just has to die." Lena speaks, "Who is she looking at?" The next moment, Mage feels the pain, thinking, what is this pressure? She can't breathe. Then, she asks who is she. Lena replies she doesn't think it's something an intruder should know. What she will remember about her is nothing. Mage is shouting, "Please save her," then vanishes. After that, Lena falls asleep. The same moment Mage falls on the ground, Duke asks, "What's going on?" Then he thinks, obviously no injuries, but why can't she come to her senses? What the hell happened? That's a big deal. Margella can't fall down now. When he goes back to the capital, it becomes difficult to proceed with the plan. Then he says she has to wake up. Without her, who will create the monster army? Duke thinks she is just going to get rid of the one Maid, and she will end up like this. The woman who is by Cahel's side must be hiding something. He will have to deal with her as soon as possible. Back at the castle, Duke asks, what is Lena's status? The doctor replies he has something to ask him. Before he left, did he infuse the Maid with magical powers? Duke replies, no way. The doctor knows that he should not inject magic into anyone. The doctor asks if so, has he ever given it? Duke replies, come to think of it, he hadn't thought about it, he has never used it and forgot about it. The doctor states, a while ago, he checked the Maid's wounds, but it was strangely clean, there wasn't even a scar. Duke is shocked that the wound was already healed. Can such a thing happen? Then, after some time, Duke speaks. She has come to her senses. Don't overdo it. Any pain or discomfort anywhere. The Lena replies, rather than that, is he okay? Where was he injured? Duke replies he is fine. Just tell him what her condition is. The cut at her back, is it okay? Lena replies she is fine. Come to think of it, it doesn't hurt at all. Did he give her a treatment? She has heard it is said that the two Dukes can use the power of feeling. Duke thinks if he told her the truth, she would be confused. First of all, he needs to reassure her, even with lies. After that, Lena states Duke has saved her. How should she repay this favor? She will serve him with all her heart until the day she dies. Duke thinks until death, so she is saying she will never leave him. No. What does he think in a situation like this? Duke speaks, first, rest well and get up safely first. Then, after that, out of her room, Duke is blushing. The next scene, Duke thought Lena's identity is getting more and more unknown, but in this situation, she tried to protect him until the end. He is sure she was not sent to hurt him. If Lena had died before he arrived, it's a terrible story to even imagine. Anyway, he is sure there is someone involved in that. How dare they touch his women, so that no one can do it carelessly. He needs to consolidate his position at this New Year celebration. Then, back at the main castle, Duke asks, did everything go well? Butler replies, Luahala's costume work is going smoothly too. After moving to the mansion, the sabotage was gone. He will post a detailed report later, so let's postpone the trip first. On the other hand, Duke stated there is a woman beside Cahill who doesn't respond to magic. Liddell was shocked and asked, she doesn't respond to magic. What kind of priest is she? Duke replied, that's not it, but it seems like she has a power that they have never seen before. Margera met the woman and lost her mind. It doesn't even recover from the blessing of healing, and reportedly, that woman is treated like the Duke of Luabe's woman. Lien thought, did father get to know her too? Liddell spoke, but there are employees in the castle too. It's not that there is no one who stands by him while enduring the evil spirit. Of course, they need to find out what that power is. It's still too early to judge. Let's look into it and talk about it again. Lien stated, he doesn't need that because he has already researched. He has seen her on the street before, so he did some background check. Even if he caused a fuss, Cahill might hide that woman. She knows the prudence of Luave. Liddell said, that's doubtful, but it's true, so did he find anything? Lien replied, she is a pretty girl with clear purple eyes. She is in her late teens, no mana, normal to come. She is immune to magic enough to ride in the same carriage as Cahill. Most importantly, he means she is working as a maid of honor for Cahill. Both of them were shocked. Lien continued, considering Cahill's attitude, she doesn't seem like a simple maid of honor. Maybe it's the government. Isn't it tragic that he can't keep his loved ones around because of his magic? But just in time, a cute woman with magical immunity appeared. He will be hell-bent on keeping her by his side. Liddell spoke. Then she feels sorry for him since he could not choose his partner. Lien replied, but he doesn't think Cahill has been forced into the government. He thinks he is spending a little too much money on her. Liddell stated while smiling, so it could be his weakness. Lien asked, isn't her eyes so scary worrying about her friend? Liddell replied, no way, it's just interesting. That's information to help the family. Lien thought Dad and Liddell looked strangely excited. Maybe it's because she found the weakness of Luave, who said he was perfect, but Luave and Liddell are faithful pillars of the Queen. Why are they so happy when they are like comrades? He doesn't know what Father and Liddell are thinking these days. It's suspicious to go to Lebanon every winter. A theologian named Margera, who was said to have been brought from the temple in another country, she even seemed to use magic. He doesn't want to think about complications, because Liddell will take over anyway, but there is no way their family could harm the kingdom. Then at the palace of Regina, Duke Damien Love stated, when was the last time he saw Gerard? Gerard replied, He should have said hello in advance, but he apologizes. His Excellency has refused to allow him to visit. Damien smiled and asked, "Come to think of it, there is something Cahal prepared for this wedding. It is said that Marquis Law prepared a dress for Her Majesty. They can look forward to it." The next moment they are shocked. It's so beautiful. Looks like the sun is in front of them. The Queen stated, "Welcome to Regina's palace and may peace and happiness be with them again this year." After that, Duke stated, "One cannot doubt Her Majesty's fashion sense." Luhala replied, "His warm words somehow bring joy to my heart, a person having no regard for passion all those years, suddenly wearing such a gorgeous outfit, his ruby brooch with the whole outfit as well." Duke thought Lena could tell him this brooch really suits him well. Its vibrant red resembles his eye color. On the other hand, Lena thought, so this is all the rumored fireworks, she only heard about it through her mom's old stories. So gorgeous, Duke must be dancing at the palace right now, dancing and enjoying the party. She want to dance too. Dancing in a beautiful dress with a warm and gallant gentleman must be nice. It seems like she do have a beautiful dress. It's a gift from His Highness, still so pristinely beautiful. Should she try it on just for a little bit? She have already finished all today's tasks. Then, after wearing the dress, Lena thought it's so pretty. She feels like a princess. Now she needs a partner. What is dancing if one has no partner, or not? He's a gentleman himself. It's a courtesy for him to place his hands on her hips, but just for today, let her have the pleasure to do that to him. Although it is a bit messy, impromptu dancing isn't so bad. Suddenly, Duke came. Lena thought that was so embarrassing. Isn't there any hole for her to crawl down to? How stupid to think of her, a maid dancing with a coat hanger. Duke spoke. Mr. Coat Hanger seems to be slightly tired. He guess he is in luck then. May he have the honor of her next dance? Lena replied. Yes, sir, Duke stated. It's his pleasure, lady. He is going to say this so that she doesn't get the wrong idea. Her door was open, she should be more careful. Lena asked if he could not tell anyone about what he saw. Duke replied, all right, he won't tell anyone, but in return, she should do him a favor too. Dance with him every now and then. He's not very popular at balls, he was not able to dance this time either. Lena said he is so much cooler than anyone she knows. In reply, he is glad to hear it and it would make him happy if she would enjoy dancing with him. Will she be his partner? Lena replied, yes, if he thinks she is good enough, she will try her best. In the next scene at the Luave Mansion banquet hall, Count Mariella, the Duke's paternal aunt, stated, the Queen's dress was certainly majestic. It's a project he funded. The looks on the Santella's faces were priceless. When he had just become Duke, she thought it would be too much for him, but look at him all grown up. So she is just putting it out there. What are his thoughts on marriage? It would be nice for him to have the support of a wife. She is worried about him being by himself. Duke replied he doesn't know, he doesn't want to sacrifice anyone. His father spoke, don't worry, sister, the temple is working hard to cure the curse, or he could find a woman who is immune to it. Then he thought this kind of talk must be painful, but there is nothing he can say as a father. In the next scene, Cahel's father asked, now this is fairly unusual. Why does he want tea with his old man? Then he asked if he had not seen her before and when did she start working here. Duke replied, this is Lena, she has been his personal assistant for half a year. Duke told her he would handle it from here, and wanted to speak with his father in private so she may leave. Then after some time, his father further spoke, interesting, so that's the child Arthur mentioned in his letters. Duke asked if there was a possibility she is a long-lost relative of Luave. Father replied he didn't know about it, but why is he asking about her ancestry? Does he want to marry her? Duke replied he was just asking because she is immune to his curse. She could be a Santella spy. Although for a spy, she is very loyal to him. Anyways, Duke's father spoke. He should be cautious of the fact that the Santella might have looked into her as well, and rumors have it that he has changed. Duke stated, well, he did get new clothes because of Lena. Father replied he can't help it as he's a duke, because Cahill is quite a difficult person, but he has softened a lot. He would like to show his mother, so why doesn't he stop by sometime? It seems his mother doesn't have much time left. Duke replied he will go up to tell his mother the moment the congratulatory ceremony is over. Then, the next scene, Liddell stated as she was sad because she wasn't able to attend the party last time. After that, she heard Elliot was looking for ways to regain her status, and she felt so bad. Have a good time at the New Year celebrations and just relax. She wants to help her get her status back. Not even the royal family can do much about the punishment handed out by the dukes, so she asked a distant relative of hers to adopt Elliot. This is the family registry of Viscount Luchenvine. He is over 50, but he still doesn't have a child. If she becomes his daughter and brings in a husband, she can have status again. This is a very good deal. Since they are rich, she would have an extravagant wedding, and not even Luavs could do her harm so easily. Elliot replied she didn't know how to repay her, thanking her, lady. Liddell stated that there is something she needs to do in order for her to be safer. She is going to bring to light that the Luavs have acted outside the law. He killed an innocent citizen, and his sentencing of the Baron was too harsh. She just needs to nod along. Then, at the royal palace, Duke came. Elliot stated, "What a beautiful person. Look at his dark hair and his broad shoulders. She wonder what house he is from. Is this what they call love at first sight?" Liddell stated she took it as her first time seeing him. That man is Duke Carhel Luave, the man who killed her parents. Be careful. Don't be charmed by his looks. Nothing good will come of it. There was even a noble lady who killed herself because of him. Elliot thought she couldn't believe she imagined herself in his arms. She is not fooled by his appearance. She will make him pay for his sins. The next day, Duke asked if it's always the same bread, yet she loves it every time. Lena replied she almost never got bread when she was with the Pidelias. Probably. Nobody in Kerouac has eaten bread like this. Duke asked if there's something he wants to ask. Where did her mother live before she came to Kerouac? Lena replied she thinks she lived in Arden. Mother said they had fireworks at New Year. Sometimes she would make these weird cookies makbong. She only tried to make them once or twice a year because they contain a lot of white sugar, but it turns out there was still something missing. Now that they are in a city, she gets she will be able to taste proper makabongs. Duke thought she was probably talking about macarons. She knows the waltz too. Her mother was definitely noble. He is going to look into noble houses that dissolved 20 years ago. Then Duke asked what is her mother's name. Lena thought, that's right, mother used a fake name in Kerouac. Then she said, Aileen. She talked a lot about the knights too. They learn the ways of knighthood and are incredible people, who lay down their lives for their master. That's why noble ladies romanticize about them so much. Duke thought she grew up listening to such fairy tales. Now he understands why her ideal type is a kind. She will fall for a real jerk if she is not careful. Duke spoke. Is there a knight she like? Lena replied. How could she? Duke stated. He told her this before. She is his personal assistant. Don't humble herself. Doing so is offensive to him too. Lena apologized. Duke stated he never bought her anything of value, so it's no wonder she feels that way. He will ask Arthur to call the jewelry merchant. This time, he will buy her something that makes her aware of her status. Lena replied she apologizes, Your Grace. Then she thought she didn't know why he is saying such things. Did she do something wrong? She can't breathe all of a sudden. She thought in the past, Elliot spoke that he thinks she is better than her. Why doesn't she just wear her clothes? They would look better on her. Go on, put them on. Then back at present time, she thought she must have crossed the line. She has to collect herself now before his grace is disappointed in her. The next moment, she fainted. Duke thought he just said he wanted to buy her jewelry. So what's wrong? Lena opened her eyes and spoke. She won't do it again. She is really reflecting on her actions. Duke replied, Don't be scared. He swore on the honor of the house of Luave. He will never hurt her, so be at ease. Lena replied, Yes. Then again, she gone unconscious. After some time, the doctor told him there doesn't seem to be anything wrong, she is just in a deep sleep. It happens sometimes after relaxing from a state of high tension. He is more worried about how shocked Duke is. Master Damien is worried too. Duke thought his father, the last time he was this shocked was when his servant fell for his magic. He is worried and wonders what's happening. Duke stated he should go see father. Afterward, Lena's mother appeared and stated, "Forgive her, Lena. This was the only way to keep her safe. The outside is still dangerous, so she must sleep. She knows it's hard not having her memories, but that will keep. Now sleep, child." The next scene Count stated he has very amazing news. Duke replied, "Whatever it is, it better be worth disturbing my rest. If it isn't, he am going to kick him." Count spoke. Not only did he kill someone he was not supposed to, he should have kicked an innocent man. There is gossip going around that while he was beheading the Pedelias, he killed someone who wasn't Baron Pedelia's daughter. Duke stated, "Are they talking about Lena? Someone's let the cat out of the bag. It could be someone who works for the Pedelias, or the real daughter could have appeared." Count told him the rumors started the second day of the congratulatory ceremony. He heard that Lady Santella brought a relative who had never been seen before. Duke stated he made a point of not looking for her, and she doesn't even realize that it was a kindness. She is with the Santellas as a way to attack him. He could be used by Liddell. She is a country girl who was raised like a princess. What does she know? Then after some time, Duke thought he should look into the Baron's daughter. He guessed it would be too cruel to ask Lena, considering she even fainted yesterday. Then Duke thought there's that stable hand he brought from Kerouac. He saw him playing around with Lena last time. This works out pretty well. Sometimes a sudden inspection is needed. Duke stated, "How is work going?" The next moment, he was shocked. Sid is kissing with another person. Both of them are shocked also. Duke thought Sid is kissing a man, so he is not into Lena. Then Duke asked, "Does Lena know that he is into men?" The other person whispered, "Why is Duke surprised that she is into men?" Sid replied she has no idea. Suddenly that man thought and stated he thinks Duke has misunderstood. Sid is a woman. Now Duke was literally shocked. The next scene, Duke thought when he heard people considered them as siblings, he thought it meant she was a man. Now he understands why Lena reacted the way she did. Duke asked, "He know this is out of the blue, but do she know anything about Elliot?" Sid replied, "Lady Elliot." Duke told her not to use the word lady. She is the daughter of a criminal and has been stripped of her title. Sid replied, "Fair enough, so she can say what she tell about her without holding back. The woman is a demon. She used Lena as a scapegoat, then made her take off her clothes and mocked her. She ruined her exam on purpose, then whipped Lena for it because she said it was her fault. There was even a time when Lena almost got burned really bad. It was clear she was bullying Lena out of jealousy, that wretched woman." Sid asked if she apologized for speaking out afterward. Duke replied, "It's fine. He had no idea that she would bully her like that. One more thing, do she know anything about Lena's biological mother?" Sid replied not really, but she has seen her. She was the most beautiful person in Kerouac. Duke asked if she was sure she had a relationship with Baron Pedelia. He just can't believe Lena is his daughter. Sid replied there were a lot of rumors. People said she was a noble of a fallen house, or that she was a witch. She was hard to approach. Moreover, there were many who were entranced by her, jealous of her, but she was never harassed. Duke thought there is definitely some kind of secret about Lena's mother. He needs to send an investigator to Kerouac as soon as possible. Then the next scene, Lena stated she really doesn't need anything. Duke replied he is not giving this to her for no reason. She knows that his aunt is hosting a party tomorrow. She needs to be there, even if only for a short while. She just needs to show her face, but it could be problematic if his assistant looks shabby. Then the merchant stated, "How about these pearl earrings? They are not too ostentatious. How about an amethyst set that goes well with the lady's eyes? Her eyes are particularly beautiful." It was hard to find something that suited her. Duke thought the merchant has a good eye to match his tenacity. Then he said, "That looks nice. How about something more showy?" Lena replied, "Don't he think these are more than enough?" Duke replied, "Well, if she says so, then go get her clothes ready for tomorrow." After that, Duke stated, "Do he have anything more decorative?" The merchant replied she is shy, so he doubts she would want something too flashy. "How about these?" Duke replied, "He will take them all." The next day, Liddell asked, "What do he think about guilt by association?" Duke replied, "If a family member takes part in the crime, they should be punished. He believed the custom will one day disappear, but right now is not the time." Liddell asked, "What about young lady, for example? Do he think it's likely she took part in her father's crimes? She may have looked the other way. But everyone makes mistakes. Everyone learns. She heard that House Padelia was executed for Baron Padelia's crimes. Even the young lady, if that lady is still alive, would he kill her again?" Duke replied, "She talks as though she is still alive." Liddell replied, "Let her officially introduce her. This is Elliot Luchenvine." Noble stated, "As expected of Lady Liddell, her heart is as beautiful as she is." Duke thought if he hadn't known better, he would have fallen for it. What despicable acting! She has been abusing Lena for years, and now she wants to act like she is concerned for her. Duke stated, "That's right, lady. It's her fate to be still alive. He shall forgive her because of Lady Liddell's pleas, but there will be no second chances." Elliot asked, "What happened to the girl that was caught? She heard that he executed the Baron, his wife, and his daughter. Did he really kill that child? That child was just a maid. She can't believe he killed her." Duke replied, "He don't know what she is talking about. He never said that child was dead. He let her live after realizing that she wasn't the daughter. She now lives in his castle as a maid." The next moment, Lena came in. Elliot was shocked. Liddell thought she wasn't dead, but she checked so many times. Duke stated there was always something for him to learn from her. She had her registered as family. He would never have thought of that. Liddell replied, "Elliot is different from that child. She is of a different status." Duke asked, "She took in a criminal's daughter, so what if he is a commoner? Actually, he thinks Lena is better off." Elliot spoke, "She looks good." Lena thought, "Calm down, she is ready for this." Duke told her she is part of the Luavs. Straighten her shoulders and always act dignified. If she can't believe in herself, believe in him, he is always on her side. Lena replied, "Yes, since coming here, she has been happy each day and every day. She never starves, and she is never whipped. It's all because of his grace." Elliot shouted, "How dare she, ungrateful wench, how dare she say she is happy working for her parents' nemesis?" Lena also shouted, "They have the right to have her die in Elliot's place. She is condemning her. Who is the one who ran away after her parents have been captured?" Elliot spoke, "How dare a lowly nobody," and slapped her. Elliot thought she didn't hit her. She just swung her arm to threaten her. She didn't feel anything on her hand. Duke stated, "How dare she slap a member of House Luave in front of him? Does she think so little of them? She is ready to face the consequences." Elliot replied that she didn't hit her. He has to believe her. Liddell thought how foolish she is. So foolish that it makes her look foolish for using her. Elliot stated, "Lady, she believes her, right?" Liddell glared at her. Elliot was on her knees and pleaded for her to please believe her. She really didn't mean to do that. Liddell stated, "Please forgive Elliot Carhell. Otherwise, his aunt's party will be ruined." Duke replied, "He knows, all because of a certain someone." In the next scene, Lena spoke, "It's fascinating that it's possible to use magic for such trickery." Duke asked if she was not really hit, to which Lena replied that she didn't even graze her. Duke said, "That's a relief. Apologize." He made her confront someone who had tormented her for so long. Was she scared? Lena replied, "At first, yes, but as she talked, she just got angry, so it was okay." Duke told her she should have hit her too, and she thought he couldn't have helped her if she hit her back. Lena replied, "It wasn't anything like that. She just didn't want to stoop to her level. She didn't want to be someone who hits and abuses people whenever they feel like, and it wasn't like she was hit for real." Duke thought if he hadn't stepped in, she would have been hurt the same way she was hurt countless times in Kerouac. Duke said he thought he should give her a noble last name. He didn't like how she called her lady. There is a viscount who wanted a daughter as well. Lena replied that she is very grateful for the thought, but doesn't want to be adopted into someone else's house. Duke asked if she was afraid they would abuse her. It's just in name, she would still live here. Lena told him she didn't want to consider anyone else as her mother, even while she was pretending to be the Baroness's daughter. She never called the Baroness mother. Her mother never had a day of rest. She would make pastries all day and sew at night, all for her. Even if only one person remembered her, she was never able to do anything for her. Calling someone else mother would be like her mother's existence being erased. Duke apologized, saying he keeps doing the wrong things. Lena stated she knows it's because he is worried about her. Then they are too close to each other. Suddenly, Mariella came, both of them blushing and shocked. Then, Lena apologized, saying she made a mess of her party, she should have been more aware. Mariella replied, "Why is that our fault? It's the fault of the one who set it up." Then she asked Duke why he made this commoner his personal assistant. Duke told her the whole story. Mariella stated it's a relief she got away from that place, but having a commoner as a personal assistant is not a good look for the Duke. How about he appoints her as a secretary to the Duchess? In that case, she would be bestowed with the title of baronet. Duke replied that's a better method than adoption. That's very good. Mariella stated they can't let the Santellas win, not even if it's a matter of servant status. Let her be Lena's patron. She wonders how the Santellas will react once they see her out in social circles. She will pluck their white feathers and reveal their foul intentions. Lena thought she became a noble. On the other hand, Liddell stated, "Elliot, noble ladies don't hit other people. She used to live far out in the countryside, so she probably never got a proper education. She has found a teacher to instruct her in the ways of etiquette, Elliot." The teacher replied, "To bestow such an honor on a servant, her kindness is truly remarkable. But the thing is," and hit her with a stick. Elliot asked, "What is he doing?" The teacher replied, "She didn't express gratitude for the lady's generosity. That's extremely rude and ignorant of her." Elliot asked, "Lady, is this man really a teacher?" Liddell replied, "Yes, and a very well-known one at that. She is quite blessed to be educated by one as he." After the lady left, Elliot thought, how could she do this to her? The teacher again beat her, and stated, "Concentrate. If her mind wanders during her lessons, he will punish her." On the last day of the New Year's ceremony, nobles asked Liddell how that girl managed to fool her. She didn't go to the Luavs with some other motive. They couldn't believe she was deceived by such a lowly girl. After some time, Lien stated, "She moved too hastily." Liddell replied, "She had no choice. She had no idea Luave had his own plans. But don't worry, rumors like these fade quickly. Besides, she learned some valuable information." Lien asked, "Valuable information, what does she mean?" Liddell spoke. He told her that Carhel had a personal assistant. She confirmed it. Her purple eyes are truly beautiful. She hired someone to look into her. She had hoped Elliot would have been more subtle. Then the Luav's family came. Duke thought there was no way Liddell didn't notice Lena. She seemed to be deep in thought during the tea party too. If Lena's secret gets out, he might not be able to keep her around any longer. That can't happen. She is his own, he will not lose her. Then Duke spoke. He seems these days he is quite busy. He heard that business is booming so much that the office on Rivella office was not enough to head off the orders. When it comes to business, he takes it there is trouble in other areas. Luhalla replied, "Nothing gets by him. It would seem, his booming business has upset his older brother. He thinks his brother is trying to kill him." Luhalla stated, "Ragdral Elpioso is the greedy and capricious crown prince of Hildebrum. They say a conqueror must have patience, but he guesses that's not true for his brother, who knows what would have happened if his grace had not provided guards. His brother is probably thinking he is someone capable of committing treason. He wonders where he came up with that idea." Duke stated, "Who says he can't? He can't run away forever. A person full of doubts will find their way to the root of it all. He can't keep letting himself be attacked. Luhala spoke. Then if he were to gather an army? Duke told him, it would just be precautionary. Find a supporter in Hildebrand, gather people and power. Hiring foreign mercenaries would also help. There is no need to worry, he has him on his side. Luhala thought, don't fall for his tactics so easily. He is only acting like this for the sake of his house. He's not the type to endanger himself for a friend. Then Luhala asked, what do you earn by helping him? Duke replied, a powerful ally. Luhala asked, does a Logos need allies? Duke replied, he is also undertaking measures for the future. Unfortunately, the world doesn't always work out the way he wanted it to. With the third son of 1,000 years, Logos will welcome a new era. Luhala asked, is that the last line of the Book of Logos? Duke replied, yes, and that new era mention is almost here. For new things to begin, the old must perish. In that process, a big collision is sure to follow, like, for instance, a war. Let's celebrate the fact that they are in the same boat. They will have victory. In the next scene, Duke stated, Tel Luave, where his mother resides, is the first place the Luave took hold of. Lena asked, she has never met the Duchess, but if she doesn't like her? Duke replied, why not? Now she probably can't afford to hate anyone anyway. Didn't she say she lost her mother when she was 10? That must have been hard. Lena replied, but she died peacefully. They are lucky. Duke thought, to think a 10-year-old would think that. Have he been too indifferent about the lives of commoners? He should work harder as a duke. Then he asked, have she ever resented the country's nobles? Lena replied, to be honest, she had never thought about the queen or his grace on that matter. The highest noble she knew was a baron, and his words were law, but she never resented him. She just hated her situation. Duke thought she didn't blame him for anything. Nevertheless, her voice pierced him like a needle. There are so many commoners in the countryside who bleed under the tyranny of their lord. Who is he to call himself a guardian of Logos? Duke stated he is sorry. Lena replied she doesn't blame him at all. Duke tell her the fact that she didn't even think to blame him, that is his sin. Lena thought she had never met a noble who looked after his servants as much as he did. After coming here, she realized Logos has to have a duke. The nobles in the countryside are already corrupt, and Her Majesty is too weak to control them. The way things are now, the person that needs to change the most may be the queen herself. Then at the Labana's Margella's cave, Duke stated that she had already recovered. Margella replied yes, there was something she wanted to ask. He said after she came out of the mirror, she lost consciousness. Duke asked if he was talking about when she went to see Karhel's personal assistant. Margella replied his personal assistant. Why would she do that? Duke stated she had forgotten about her. Margella replied it seems she is being wiped out from her memory. Don't he find it interesting even with his magic? Her memory hasn't come back. That means her powers exceed his powers. There is a theory that comes to mind. There is only one kind of power greater than Duke's power, and that is the Queen's power. Duke shouted that's nonsense. The Queen appeared long ago. If it wasn't for Luave, they should have gotten rid of that useless Queen. Margella thought his hatred of the Queen is clouding his judgment. Then she said let's talk about controlling the magical beings. That is the most important factor in his revolution. Using magical stones to control them is most definitely effective. If he has their leader under control, he can control the same species of magical beings as a whole. The problem is the supply of magical stones. Not only are they expensive, but the supply is also limited. And they can't get them back if the magical beings dies, and it's only a matter of time until the Luave finds this out. They will soon try to cut off the supply. That's why she has decided to put the stones inside the magical beings. It takes time, but it's safer than using necklaces. Would you like to try it? Duke grabbed the necklace, then put it into the monster body. Then he stated he hopes this turns out to be useful. Duke asked the magical stones where they are gathered. Margella replied the sage's village in Hildebrand. They say the Hildebrand royalty guards it, but who knows, Those freaks don't get along well with royalty. Duke replied that's good. It's not what he would have expected, but he can kill two birds with one stone. In the next scene at Karuk, Theo thought this place hasn't changed a bit. Suddenly, a maid stated he has to be kidding. How dare he come into the central castle? Get out of here right this minute. Theo thought she hasn't changed a bit. Then he introduced himself as Theo, Duke Luave's investigator. He received a formal invitation to be here. Like this video. Hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.